The call came at 9:47 p.m. on a Friday. Marcus Holloway, my husband of 8 years, stood in our kitchen with his phone pressed to his ear, face draining of color like someone had opened a valve. "What do you mean liquidated?" His voice cracked. "That's impossible. I didn't authorize." I kept folding laundry at the kitchen table. White cotton sheets. The ones I'd washed after finding champagne stains and perfume that wasn't mine. "Check again." His hand shook. "The Riverside portfolio. The tech stocks. The municipal bonds. Check everything." Behind him, through the bay window, I could see his Tesla in the driveway. Vanessa, 26, personal trainer, fond of posting gym selfies with married men's wedding rings just visible in the background, had borrowed it yesterday. Posted Instagram stories from it this morning. Wine country. Luxury resort. Blessed life. Marcus had told me he was at a medical conference in Chicago. The lie sat between us like broken glass. "Mr. Chun." Marcus's voice pitched higher. No, don't call Mr. Chun. I'll handle this. There's been a mistake. But let me rewind. 3 months earlier. That's when I found the first receipt. 3 months earlier, the American Express statement arrived on a Tuesday. I opened it at the breakfast table while Marcus read the Wall Street Journal, coffee steaming in his hand. $4,200 at Cartier. $3,800 at Nobo. $2,100 at the Four Seasons. All on dates when he'd said he was working late at the investment firm. "Marcus." I kept my voice level. "Did you buy me something from Cartier?" He didn't look up. There's a $4,000 charge. I thought maybe an anniversary gift. Our anniversary was 7 months away. Oh, he turned a page. "Client appreciation gift." You know how it is. I knew how it was. I'd been married to him long enough to recognize the particular way his jaw tightened when he lied. That night, I logged into the investment accounts. The ones in both our names, joint property, California law, earned during our marriage. My finger hovered over the screen. $2.3 million in stocks. $1.8 million in bonds. $900,000 in a brokerage account Marcus used for active trading. All of it secured against a loan he'd taken to invest in his friend's tech startup. The collateral keeping us from losing everything if the venture failed. I took screenshots, sent them to my email. Then I called someone I hadn't spoken to in 9 years. "Evelyn." My voice shook. "It's Natalie. I need your help." Evelyn Park, my college roommate, now a senior wealth manager at Goldman Sachs, didn't ask questions. "Come to my office tomorrow. Bring everything." The next 6 weeks were education. Evelyn showed me things Marcus had never bothered to explain. How the accounts were structured. What I legally controlled. What required both signatures. When I could move. When I could liquidate. What was mine. "Natalie." She looked at me across her desk. "Are you sure? Once you do this, there's no going back." I thought about the receipt. The lies. The way Marcus had started looking at me like I was furniture. Something useful but unremarkable. Easily replaced when a better model appeared. "I'm sure." "Then we do this carefully. Legally. Every step documented. Every transaction traceable and justified." She pulled out a yellow legal pad. "First, you're going to need proof he's misusing marital assets. Pictures, statements, anything that shows he's spending on another woman. California is a no-fault state, but financial misconduct matters. Second, you're going to secure your half of everything before he drains it on his startup or his girlfriend." I went home that night and found Marcus's laptop open. His email unlocked. The messages were worse than I'd imagined. "Vanessa, baby, can't wait to leave Natalie. Just need to wait until the Optimist deal closes. Then I'm all yours. That vintage dom in bed last night. Just a preview of our life together. When I'm free, every day will be like that." She's got no idea. Thinks I'm at work. Too boring to even question it. Boring. The word cut deeper than leaving or love. I took screenshots of everything. Sent them to Evelyn. Then I made an appointment with my own lawyer. Marcus came home at midnight, reeking of expensive perfume. Found me reading in bed, wearing my drugstore reading glasses, hair in a bun. "Still up?" He barely looked at me. "You should get more sleep. You look exhausted." I was exhausted. From carrying a marriage alone. From pretending not to notice. From being called boring while I held our life together. How was work? Fine. Tedious. He stripped off his suit. Brioni. Purchased with our money. "I'm going to shower." When the water ran, I checked his jacket pocket. Found another receipt. Tiffany and Company, $8,600. A bracelet. I didn't own any Tiffany bracelets. The next morning, I met with David Reeves, divorce attorney. Sharp suit, sharper reputation. Mrs. Holloway. He read through the documents Evelyn had prepared. This is thorough. You have grounds for divorce citing financial misconduct. Now, about protecting your assets. I want to liquidate the investment accounts. My half. Before I file. That's. He paused. Aggressive. He's using our money to fund his affair. His girlfriend posts about their trips online. He's planning to leave me after his business deal closes. I leaned forward. I want what's mine before he spends it on someone else. David smiled. Thin. Professional. Then let's make sure you get it. Which brings us back to now. To Marcus in our kitchen, phone pressed to his ear, panic rising in his voice. Mr. Chun, please, there's been an error. I need those accounts restored. I set down the sheet I'd been folding. White cotton. Clean. Fresh start. Marcus. My voice was soft. Is there a problem? He spun on me, phone still at his ear. Did you, Natalie, did you touch the investment accounts? I liquidated my half. 50%. California is a community property state. That money was earned during our marriage. I picked up another sheet. My lawyer confirmed everything was legal. His face went from white to red. You can't. That was collateral. The loan. The loan you took without discussing it with me? For Jason's cryptocurrency startup? I smoothed the fabric. Risky. But don't worry. Your half of the collateral is still there. 45% of the original amount. 45. Realization hit him. I need 50% to maintain the loan. If it drops below 50%, the bank calls the loan. Yes. I learned a lot about investment banking these past few weeks. His phone buzzed. He looked down. Went gray. That's probably them, I said. The bank. Marcus grabbed the counter, knuckles white. You don't understand what you've done. The Optimus investment, if they call that loan, you lose $1 million. Yes, I understand perfectly. We lose $1 million, Natalie. That's our money. Was our money. Past tense. I stood, gathering the laundry basket. My half is now in a secured account. Your half is about to be seized by the bank to cover the loan you took against our assets without my knowledge or consent. His phone rang again. First National Bank lit up the screen. He didn't answer. You should take that, I said. Mr. Chin doesn't like to be kept waiting. Why? The word came out broken. Why would you destroy us like this? I set down the basket. Marcus, I found the emails. The receipts. The Instagram posts. I know about Vanessa. Something flickered in his eyes. Not shame. Calculation. It's not. She's just. We have it. You told her you'd leave me after the Optimus deal closed. You called me boring. Too stupid to notice. I picked up my phone, pulled up screenshots. Last Tuesday, while you told me you were at work, you were at the Four Seasons. You ordered vintage champagne. $600 a bottle. He opened his mouth. Closed it. Last weekend, when you said you were at a conference in Chicago, Wine Country with Vanessa, in our Tesla, she posted 17 Instagram stories. You're in 6 of them. Natalie, this Tuesday, you bought her a Tiffany bracelet. $8,600. Our money, Marcus. Money I helped earn. I worked full-time while you got your MBA. I took care of your mother when she had cancer. I built this life with you. His phone buzzed again. A text this time. He glanced down, face crumbling. They're calling it. The loan. They're liquidating everything. I know. You know? His voice rose to a shout. Jesus Christ, Natalie. I could lose my position at the firm. My reputation. Your reputation as what? A brilliant investor who gambled his marriage assets on cryptocurrency? Or as the man who embezzled marital funds to wine and dine his mistress? I didn't embezzle. You used community property for personal benefit during an affair. My lawyer has a different word for it. So does the IRS, actually. Those client gifts? Not deductible if they were for your girlfriend. The color drained from his face again. You wouldn't. I already did. Filed an amended return. The audit notice should arrive next week. He staggered backward, gripping the counter. This is insane. You're destroying everything we built. You destroyed it. I'm just making sure I don't go down with the ship. My phone buzzed. Text from Evelyn. Transfer complete. Your assets are secured. Well done. Marcus saw my expression. What? What else did you do? Nothing else. I'm finished. I picked up the laundry basket. Your lawyer will receive divorce papers on Monday. My attorney recommends you retain separate counsel. Conflict of interest, given the financial irregularities. I can't afford a lawyer if the bank takes everything. You should have thought of that before you spent $47,000 on another woman in 3 months. His jaw dropped. You've been tracking every receipt, every transaction, every Instagram post. I have a folder, Marcus. Dates, times, amounts, locations, all cross-referenced. I headed toward the stairs. Oh, and the Tesla? It's in my name. Title was never transferred after my father gifted it to me for our anniversary. You might want to tell Vanessa to return it. Natalie, wait. He followed me into the hall. Please, we can fix this. I'll end things with Vanessa. We'll go to counseling. Just reverse the transfers. Call the bank. Tell them it was a mistake. I turned on the stairs. It wasn't a mistake. It was the smartest thing I've done in years. I love you. The words hung in the air like spoiled perfume. You love what I provided, I said quietly. Stability. Respectability. Someone to manage your life while you pretended to be a master of the universe. I climbed another step. But you don't love me, Marcus. You never even saw me. That's not true. You call me boring. Too stupid to notice your affair. You told Vanessa every day with her would be champagne and caviar. You know what you gave me? I laughed, sharp and bitter. Receipts. His phone rang again. Different number. He glanced down, and I saw fear bloom across his face. That's probably Jason, I said. Your business partner. I imagine he just heard about the loan being called. Natalie, sign the papers when they arrive. My attorney structured everything fairly. You get half of what's left, which isn't much, after the bank takes their share. I get my half, plus reimbursement for the marital funds you spent on Vanessa. That'll leave me with nothing. Not nothing. You'll have Vanessa. And the vintage champagne memories. That should be enough, shouldn't it? You said every day would be like that. I continued up the stairs. Where are you going? To bed. I'm exhausted. Covering your tracks was tedious work. I paused at the landing. Oh, and Marcus? The guest room sheets are in the dryer. You want to make up the bed. You're sleeping there from now on. Saturday morning, I woke to silence. Marcus's car was gone. My phone had 17 missed calls. 12 from Marcus. 3 from Jason. 2 from numbers I didn't recognize. I deleted them all. Made coffee. Real coffee, from the French press, not the Keurig Marcus preferred. Sat in the breakfast nook with sunshine streaming through windows I'd personally cleaned every week for 8 years. The Tesla sat in the driveway. Returned sometime during the night. Keys on the counter with a note. Natalie, we need to talk. This is fixable. Please call me. I crumpled the note. Threw it away. Poured another coffee. My phone rang. Evelyn. Morning, she said cheerfully. How are you feeling? Free. Good. Because we have work to do. Your settlement offer is ready to send. David wants to move fast. The longer Marcus sits with his losses, the more desperate he'll get. What am I offering? The house. He keeps it, but buys out your equity. Comes to $340,000. He pays it over 3 years. Your investment accounts stay yours. The stay his, what's left of them. No alimony for either party. That's generous. It's strategic. He can't afford to fight you, and you want this over. Quick divorce, clean break. She paused. Natalie, are you sure you don't want more? You're entitled. I want my life back. That's worth more than money. Then we'll make it happen. The papers were delivered Monday at noon to Marcus's office. By 3 p.m., my lawyer called. He signed everything. David sounded surprised. No negotiation. No pushback. Just signed. What about the buyout payment? He's liquidating his retirement account. Taking the tax penalty. Desperate to close this fast. David's chair creaked. Mrs. Holloway, in 20 years of practice, I've never seen someone capitulate this quickly. What happened? He realized he had no leverage. What I didn't tell David. Marcus had called me 19 times that weekend. Left voicemails that progressed from angry to pleading to broken. Jason's suing me for the lost investment. Says I had no right to use leveraged funds. The firm is investigating. They might terminate me. Natalie, please, I need you to testify that you approve the loan. Vanessa left. Blocked my number. Said she didn't sign up for this drama. That last one almost made me laugh. Drama. As if infidelity and financial fraud were just inconvenient theater. I didn't return any of the calls. The divorce was final in 6 months. California law requires a 6-month waiting period, but everything else moved at lightning speed. Marcus paid the first installment of my equity buyout, $113,333, deposited directly into my account. No note, no commentary, just money and silence. I moved into a condo downtown, smaller than the house, cleaner, mine. Every piece of furniture I chose, every paint color my decision. No compromises, no accommodations for someone else's taste. Evelyn helped me restructure my investments. Conservative growth, steady returns, nothing leveraged, nothing risky. You're sitting on $1.4 million, she said over coffee in my new kitchen. That's enough to never work again if you're careful. What do you want to do? I thought about it. About the years I'd spent managing Marcus's life. His calendar, his dry cleaning, his mother's medical appointments, his career. I want to go back to school. Evelyn blinked. School. I have a bachelor's in psychology. I never finished my master's, married Marcus instead, supported him through business school. I sipped my coffee. I want to be a therapist. Help women navigate difficult marriages, divorces, financial abuse. Natalie. Evelyn's eyes gleamed. That's perfect. I enrolled that fall. 2 years, part-time. I was 36, older than most of my classmates, but not the oldest. There were other women starting over. Other stories of marriages that had collapsed. We formed a study group, swapped divorce stories like war wounds, laughed about the absurdity of men who thought we wouldn't fight back. 18 months after the divorce finalized, I got a LinkedIn message. Marcus. Natalie. I know I don't have the right to ask, but I'm hoping we can talk. I've been in therapy, working on myself. I understand now what I destroyed. If you're willing to hear me out, I'd like to apologize properly. I stared at the message for a long time. Remembered the man who'd called me boring, who'd spent our money on champagne and jewelry for someone else, who'd looked at me like I was furniture. Then I remembered the woman I'd been. Quiet, accommodating, convinced that keeping the peace was the same as being happy. She was gone. I'd liquidated her along with the investment accounts. I closed LinkedIn without responding. 2 years after the divorce, I finished my master's degree, opened a small private practice. 3 clients the first month, then 7, then 12. Women came to me with stories I recognized. Husbands who controlled money, partners who lied about accounts, men who called them stupid while spending their earnings on other women. I taught them what Evelyn taught me: how to access accounts, how to document spending, how to protect themselves legally before filing papers. You can't fix someone who doesn't want to be fixed, I told a client named Sarah. She was 32. Her husband was gambling away their savings. But you can save yourself. That's not selfish. That's survival. Sarah came back 6 months later. Divorced. Relieved. I got everything you said to get. Bank statements. Screenshots. He tried to hide assets. I found them all. Good, I said. Now build something better. 3 years after the divorce, Dorothy Holloway, Marcus's mother, called me. We'd stayed in touch. Occasional texts. Holiday cards. She'd sided with me in the divorce, which cost her relationship with Marcus for months. Natalie. Honey, I wanted you to hear this from me. Marcus is getting married. My stomach didn't drop. No pain. Just neutral curiosity. To who? Her name is Amber. She's a financial advisor. They met in his bankruptcy recovery group. Bankruptcy. The word surprised me. The lawsuit from Jason. The IRS audit. The job loss. It all compounded. He filed last year. Dorothy sighed. He's working as a sales associate now. Electronics store. Trying to rebuild. I should have felt satisfaction. Vindication. Something. Instead, I felt nothing. Marcus's life had moved on. So had mine. We were strangers who'd once shared an address. I hope he's happy, I said. And meant it. Are you? Dorothy asked. Happy. I looked around my office. Framed degrees on the wall. Client files organized neatly. A practice that helped women find their strength. Yes, I said. I really am. 5 years after the divorce, I was featured in a financial magazine. The therapist who teaches women to fight back. They interviewed me about financial abuse. About protecting yourself. About the moment you realize you have power. The article went viral. My practice waitlist grew to 6 months. I hired an associate. Then another. We worked exclusively with women navigating financial control, hidden assets, and economic abuse in relationships. One afternoon, a new client sat across from me. 28. Scared. Her husband had drained their savings for a business venture without telling her. I feel so stupid, she whispered. I should have noticed. You're not stupid, I said firmly. You trusted someone you loved. That's not stupidity. That's humanity. But I let him. You didn't let him do anything. He chose to betray your trust. I leaned forward. Now you get to choose what happens next. You have more power than you think. Her eyes widened. I do. I smiled. Opened my laptop. Pulled up a spreadsheet template. Let me show you. 10 years after the divorce, I was 50. Single. Successful. Content. I never remarried. Never wanted to. Built a life that was entirely mine. Accountable to no one. Compromised for no one. Diminished by no one. The practice had grown to 5 therapists. We'd helped over 300 women navigate divorces, protect assets, and rebuild lives. My investment accounts, carefully managed, steadily growing, had reached $2.1 million. I owned my condo outright, drove a sensible car, took vacations alone or with friends, read books until 2 a.m. without anyone complaining about the light. Sometimes former clients sent me updates, photos of new homes, job promotions, children thriving after ugly custody battles, second weddings to better partners. You saved my life, they wrote. You showed me I could fight back. But I didn't save anyone. I just showed them what I'd learned. That quiet doesn't mean weak. That patience doesn't mean powerless. And that sometimes, the best revenge isn't destroying someone. It's building something so beautiful from the rubble that you forget they were ever there at all. Marcus was a memory now. Not even a painful one. Just a chapter in a story that had better, richer volumes ahead. The girl who'd folded laundry while her husband's world collapsed was gone. In her place stood a woman who knew her worth, who taught others to know theirs, who'd turned betrayal into purpose and pain into power. I liquidated more than investments that Friday night. I liquidated the version of myself who believed love meant staying small, and what I built in its place was worth more than any portfolio could ever hold.